It just took a little bit longer to rebound, but it has been a pattern of this long bull market where tech stumbles, but it doesn't stumble for long. Let's get the read from Craig Smith, a great market watcher. What do you think of this rebound? How long does it last? Which is real?
Oh gosh, Neil, what a big question. I think a lot of it's going to depend upon what we see come out of these trade talks, Neil. I got to tell you, I think all the focus this week, because we've had such great news last week and the beginning of this week, all the news is focused on what happens in these trade talks. And I got to tell you, I think tech has a lot of concerns right now, Neil, because think about it. We talked about this last time we were together. The Chinese are willing to give on opening up markets to us. They're willing to give on increasing purchases from us. They're not willing to give on this whole issue of intellectual properties, Neil, and holding these companies accountable to give them source codes if they want to do business in China. I think that's going to be a big sticking issue, and if we don't have positive information coming out of the trade talks this week, I think you could see all the FANGs retreat dramatically.
All right, so the Facebooks and the Apples and the Netflixes, that this could just cascade south again.
Sure, and let me tell you why, Neil. People have this tendency to believe that the FANG stocks are American stocks. They're not. They're multinational corporations that are just as important. It's just as important for them to focus on Manhattan as it is Madrid or Boston as it is Barcelona. And they're going to look at what is best for them globally, Neil, and not particularly what's best for them domestically.
That's well put. I'm going to copy that one and say that I came up with it. But let me ask you a little bit about the trade thing here. I guess the history of this, and you and I have gotten into this before, Craig, is the markets think cooler heads prevail. It won't ultimately come to a war. The Chinese are back negotiating things, offering some possibilities, making deals with Boeing. We just get this commitment that Boeing says out of the Chinese to order $1.3 trillion worth of planes, I guess, over the next couple of decades. So they throw these little teasers out. Now, are you saying all that goes, this gets rough, they pull that deal, they pull deals with Apple, they pull other things that then start booming back on us?
I think the short answer is yes, Neil, and let me tell you why. Again, these corporations, let's look at Apple. China represents 1.3 billion consumers to them. I mean, they can't just say, well, we won't play with the Chinese, we're just going to pick up our marbles and go home. They have to come up with a strategy that will work with the censors in Beijing, with the people on the search engines, so on and so forth. And so I don't think that this is a simple equation, Neil, and I believe that this week is going to tell us a lot about where we are. And if Donald Trump gets what he's asking for, another $267 billion in tariffs, Neil, we are in essence going to tariff every single product that China brings to this nation, and I don't think it's going to be positive. Now, everybody's thinking it's going to hurt Deere and Caterpillar and all that. This is where I disagree with the market. I believe this is going to hurt tech worse than it ever hurt our manufacturing sector.
Well, you've been more accurate than the market, young man, so we should listen. And China, by the way, is set to ask the WTO, the World Trade Organization, for permission to impose sanctions of its own on the U.S. So they're not just lying back and taking this. So
yeah, but isn't that a joke, though, Neil, when you think about it? I mean, they're going after us for sanctions at WTO? Please.
There is a word for that, but I can't say it on cable. But, Craig, always good seeing you, my friend. Thank you very, very much.
Same here, Neil.
All right. If you look at some of the economic issues that were going on, let's